Hey everyone, we talk about uh, LeoVegas web opened on my phone, and you can see it from the in the left part of the screen. I spent about 2 days to research this website as well as make a quick user testing and build a prototype for my to explain my ideas. The original test task was to um, work with sign up flow and focus exactly on this area. I will start from describing the website, and later we'll continue with my prototype and demonstrate improvements for this website. The first front page of the website, so let's call it fault area. This looks pretty great, and there is focused advertisement of new opportunities or new games for the player, as well as you can see in the bottom, LeoVegas Originals. It's the games that players can look for because they have a habit to play these games. There is also 3 tabs: Casino, Live Casino, and Sports. I focused only on the Casino tab, and also there is a login button, and I believe it's a menu button for the website and their services. And one important thing, it's bottom navigation bar. I will start from critical this website, despite the fact that there is a number of interesting solutions and things that I'm happy to see there. I will start from the this catalog of games. So as when a person visits this website, he or she sees these promotions and then a huge amount of games that in my opinion poorly categorized, because there is a lot of small icons and no or lack of grouping of them. So there is top games, but why they top and why they deserve my attention, maybe no reason for them. And I need to operate only using the picture and name of the games. Of course, I can enter each game and in hope to see more details about it. But I can see there only some games have a jackpot, but some of them are not. I can see only briefly description, text description, some background image and icon. Let's see how my wife, whom I asked to interact with website, work with it, interact with it, and which emotions she feels when she interacts with it. By the way, I need to say that in our country, casino is first of all prohibited, not allowed, and I not sure. I have friends who invited to casino games, addicted to casino games, and play it regularly or even play it once. So I'm not sure me and my wife is right target audience for this game, but because of tight schedule, I didn't find the more better person for this test task. So let's see. let's see the record.
Okay, let's try game. I don't want to log in for now because I don't want to spend my time. I don't know yet if I will like it or not. So I want to try it first.
So she says that she tried to see attractive game for her. As I said, she's not a gambling player, so I believe she operate on the visual part of the game and tried to see will it be interesting for her or not. And the only thing that she can do is launch the game itself, because the website doesn't provide um, the more information about the game. There is only bunch of text, and as I said, custom background image that doesn't say anything about the game. But our users, our player, willing to see more details, and I believe more graphic, and how the game looks like. Also, this web screen, screen ask her immediately to log in or sign up in the first places. Let's see it on the real website. So when we open one of the games, we can see these three buttons, and to more the button that highlighted, it's login button that created for the existed users. But I believe that users who already registered and visit this website regularly, they're already logging it, and their cookie is fine, and uh, they won't see this screen at all. So the people who will see this screen, mostly, I believe, new users and guests who will try new games. So the login button on the first place is wrong idea, as well as sign up button, because I'm not sure I will sign up for from spend after 5 minutes at the website, and the only button that interested me is try game. This spinner on the around the icon is pretty great idea to show the progress, because as I understand, the game quite heavy, and if people play mobile version from their phones using mobile cellular data, it's take quite a long time. This game, by the way, loaded too much, and it was heavy or not, I don't understand.
Plays without any problems, so it should be a really heavy game. And I would prefer to see some pictures or read something about the rules.
That's a good idea, because when player wait for the game, a player can see more data about it, more, as she said, more pictures. Of course, it also takes some times to load, because we add a picture to loading process, but this can be combined in some way. I will show you later. Also, while this application loading, a user loses his control on the application. There is no back button, no opportunities to cancel the loading or something like that. The user have to use only browser buttons, back buttons. I believe this is a bad idea, because a user have to it's kind of dive to the application, to the website, but now player have to raise his head and look around and look a solution around this website, outside the website, and and she has to use browser back button.
I'm waiting, because just to look at it, I think if I would like some interaction, maybe I would just close this site and find something faster. Very small pictures, very big background. Okay, this site.
So after spending some time to load this application, it was crashed the phone. It's iPhone 6 Plus. I believe not latest model, but it's not too old to run to crashes from applications.
Probably it will start from the beginning.
Yes, and games try to restart themselves.
Now I expect that it will be a problem.
But no luck this time too. No.
So
That was the first experience, and all this thing a player have to do only just because to get a first expectation from the game. So waiting for the loading, maybe see some tutorial and do other time wasting things just to see how the game looks like.
okay, let's try this one. Try again.
The spinner looks great.
It looks faster. What to do?
So it still tries to swipe the rolls because this tutorial that she saw before uh, misleading her, and she thought that this is the way how to spin the rollers. But in fact, it was a way for developers to make this game a full screen. But it appears on the place where the canvas and the roles are located.
I have no idea.
Even when she found a button to interact, how to spin the rolls, she still doesn't continue to use it. And also, as you can see, she interacts with the canvas itself. When I played the games, I also interacted with the canvas. As a regular gamer, I tried to uh, press these pins, press images because they attract my attention and looks clickable.
Yes. What should we do?
And it doesn't work for her. Now she accidentally exited from the full screen mode and activated this tutorial again that shows her to swipe up to make a full screen mode, but she thinks that it teach her to how to roll this, how to spin the rollers.
Okay, it shows me to do this, but when I do it, nothing happens.
And everything is glitchy, everything is horrible for her. She doesn't understand what's going on.
Okay, I think that's it. I don't have any interest in this anymore.
All right. Um, you can to play it. You actually need to just press this POW.
I already did it.
That's all the game. You don't need to interact with the roles.
But why does it show me that I need to swap?
The swipe was because you was not in the full screen mode, and in this way he tries to explain you how to enter the full screen mode. It's just technical problems that they solve through your interaction.
Yes, but can you make it full? Is it?
Full screen, yes,
Yeah.
you just need to rotate the phone, and it will be full screen.
So and
And it just wasn't absolutely obvious for her. Obviously, to see the picture wider or see photos wider, we usually used to rotate our phones, but it's not obvious for a player because player engage it to the playing process, and she interacted with the small spins, and she has no idea that she can rotate the phone and make it full screen like, because everything is glitchy, and if she'll rotate the phone, maybe it's collapsed at all and won't work at all.
what does this hand means?
Swipe it.
But it doesn't help.
Um, did you try to swipe it? Just try to swipe it. And it is full screen. This is just a technical realization of a full screen.
Yes, but I need to rotate.
Yes, and to make it horizontal like, you need to rotate it as well. But they don't say you to rotate it.
I don't know if I spend anything when I tap it or not.
In regular games, in mobile casual games, we distinctly see that I spend some resources when I do an action. For example, if I buy something, I distinctly see a price and so on. In this game, in gambling, probably we won't remind players that a player spent his real money, that every spin costs $5 for him. But the feedback is not clear. I believe she even doesn't see her balance or her result of her actions. Is she with something or win something, or she goes spent and spent without winning? That was misleading for her. And also, I waited that I'll see login pop up that asks player to enter the game. This kind of pop-ups arise when you place a lot and the game thinks that it's a good time to show you, to ask you to register because you are engaged and you're having fun with the game. Uh, but Evgenia's bored quite fast and wasn't excited with the game. Of course, we won't show this screen for her faster because she declined this opportunity because she wasn't interested in this game. But let's see this how this what this screen contains. Uh, it breaks the game and asks you to log in, not registering but login. So there is two wrong things. It's not a flow, it's breaking the flow. Like when you're having fun, when you're having party, somebody accidentally comes to your room and asks you questions that you even don't thought about. And this is how this pop-up interact. So it asks you to log in, not registering, and obviously it's oriented to person who already registered. And now it looks like a player who already registered comes to a game without with from new mobile device or losing his cookies and spinning this game for gaming playing this game for virtual money. But in fact, mostly people who will see this window will be new users or guests. So there should be not login but register.
Register.
It happened with the app. And also one game said that I can't play it in the current country. So why do you show me this game if I can play it?
Okay. Some
Also, as you can see, she still stay in the horizontal mode. She doesn't rotate her phone. Any email. Did you see what happened? She tried to log in because it was first button in the list and it's highlighted. So she. Oops, sorry. So she tried to use the first button that she sees and doesn't read the labels. Also, the this message doesn't help her. Login failed. It looks like blaming the user. Why it's failed? What goes wrong?
But I.
She have to spend some time to understand what the system wants for her and how to register this website.
Okay. Why not?
First, that Evgenia sees this advertisement that is not clear for her. And for me either. I don't know what the bonus you suggest to me. Why I choose it now before registration? Will it be too late later? Maybe I can choose it after registration. You can see how much space Evgenia has. Yes, she's still in the horizontal mode, but that's the situation that she uh, has. So if you will teach new users to play in horizontal mode, I believe there will be more situations like that. Yes, you require a password from a player, but it should follow your some special rules. It's not regular password, and nobody read it. And now Evgenia even didn't mention that she has a problem. You can enter real mobile phone, but from UK.
But what do they need my mobile number? Should.
So she don't understand why do you wish to validate her by the phone. So it's like a typical gaming site and gaming website, and it's not clear for her why you willing to know her phone for that. Let's choose. The message is not clear. There's a lot of text, and there are other data that you ask me to fill.
Seven, five, one. Okay.
We can't use our own phones, Russian phones, to register this website, so I had to use free online SMS receiving numbers. Usually, these numbers exist for many countries, so I can register your website anonymously. That's why I don't understand why you're willing to validate this way, because in any way, if you um, making just make it more secure, my account, you can ask it later, and for now I have nothing to secure. And if it to avoid, I don't know, robots, we can use captcha, reCAPTCHA, and so it's I have doubts about this exact way. Also, there is a custom password that you ask me to fill, and all the form looks not big, but in case of mobiles, it should be simpler to just avoid jumping and don't take so much place. By the way, I can use the same phone number to register multiple accounts. So it's not even uh, personal. So I more doubts for this way to validate a person. If I'll press next step, it doesn't show me what goes wrong, why I can't continue with the current form, because I can miss something, and there is opportunity to miss some field or enter enter it wrong, but the form doesn't help me. And one of the ways, of course, is to show red message when a player make an error, but it looks aggressive. The better way is to hide fields that was filled correctly, and focus a player only on a field that is not filled or filled wrong. So it will be much friendly. So in this way you can say, hey, you filled these fields correctly, we just hide it from the form and stack empty fields to each other to make a player more focused on it. And this is a long description, so frustrating. So I had to read that you require me 8 symbols, and one should be a digit. And you can just show me the example, or even better, doesn't require a password from me at all. You can generate it by yourself, and use cookies, for example, to for now after registration. It will be enough for first time, and when I will log in or I will approve my email, you will ask me to create a password. But for now, it's okay. An email will be enough for me to get access to my data.
Okay, now I see the button next step, but it's not clickable probably.
As you remember, she entered wrong password, not a wrong, but a password that you don't like, and she tries to find out why. And she found this your terms and lists them to the end because some websites, because probably you wish her to read it completely and list it to the end.
They want me to agree on something like this, but I don't see any agree button. Okay, you have
Yes, that's it.
at least one numerical. Okay. Yes. I don't know what is red. Okay.
Takes some time, so you can just fill other.
In this case, we wasn't successful with entering code from the phone, but it is last step of the registration and last step of the sign up form. So I asked her to fill other fields. She doesn't understand why do you need her postcode. Obviously, there is a help title that describes that you can fetch other data, but it's not obvious for us.
It's not your. Yes, you can choose anyone.
Sides. Done. No. Yeah. Why do I need to scroll all the time?
Of course, everything is jumping, and better way to fill the forms. Yes, she is still in the horizontal landscape view, but that's the situation that she has. So that was the journey that Evgeny promised you to login. In fact, drops you to this login button drops you to home screen and do nothing instead. It's when you paid when you spent all your money and you see this message that contains only OK button. Not enough money for your account. This is the great place to register a player and ask his card. But there is just OK and I don't know, and no continue. It's a dead end. So what summary from this experience I can say that for a player there is no reasons to sign up at all. Only if it motivated gambling player, probably this player will sign up immediately, but as we understand there is no problem with this player. We have had problems with another players who is not motivated or having doubting about this. And this this screen the screen that players see every time to enter the game has wrong priorities. For a player, login is not interesting at all because, as I said, uh, mostly this screen will see new players or guests. Sign up is too early, and to try the games is the button the player willing to see firstly. this screen also can be more detailed and can tell a player more about a game, because the goal of a player is to try a game, not only gameplay, that not only um, balance of losing, spending, and winning, not only a feeling of winning, but also visual part or um, emotions, interactions with the game. This screens doesn't contain this data. It's just three buttons and some poor statistics like RTP or is there a jackpot or not. I believe probably it is the only data that gambling players need. Of course, I'm not a specialist in this particular niche, and probably uh, everything the players need, it's on the screen, but we had another experience. Also, when a player loading a game, player lose any control on it. Um, when game's loading, there is no back uh, button, nothing that can return a player to home. Also, uh, except this except this home button when player enter the game. But also it looks like, by the way, it doesn't work. I tried to swipe, but it doesn't work. Okay. Uh, Also, there is no signs of your brand. Instead, a player still on playing in LeoVegas website and still located on this website. Maybe you uh, reroute him to another website, some third-party company, and player will worry about it. So there is no signs of your brand, no your header, no your navigation, and so on. No mm, um, his user pick or something like that. No signs that players still in your system. So why I'm talking, why I'm started from a home screen instead of these three buttons, because I believe the sign up process starts from exactly from home screen, from first expectations, and will be better to say that it is not sign up, it's onboarding, when you work with a new players, new visitors, and tries to make them register. So all this, remember a funnel. When, for example, thousands of visitors visit your websites but register and even uh, fulfilling a balance, only number of them, like 3 or 5. And all this process I willing to improve in this video. I built a prototype especially for to demonstrate it ideas, because you asked me to just explain it verbally. I'm not sure it's will be easy to show you my vision only with words. I think there is a big chance to misunderstand each other. So I have to spend uh, enough time to build a prototype for the website. Let me enter it in safety mode. I'll go through this flow, sign up flow and onboarding flow, and will describe every my every steps. You can stop the video now and interact with the prototype by yourself to have your own experience, your own expectations and things to talk about. Also, I understand that you are professionals who work with this website more, I believe, years and who had experience in this industry. And I spent just few hours to make to try find solutions for a problem I saw. And of course, it's not a few hours job. It's requires more time, but just because of the tight schedule and your expectation to see this in 2 hours, I don't have enough time to do this, so it's quite low detail, not so deep understanding, but the things that I try to improve fast. As you can see, there is changes in the navigation in the header and in the bottom bar. I will need to compare both screens. Let me check. How can I do it? From the left side, my prototype, and from the right side, original LeoVegas website. It's opened in browser on computer and can be can be difference between this original website and things that you will see on your mobile phone when you will open website. But I'm not sure it will be some significant differences, but it will be enough for demonstration. I'll start from navigation. Um, Navigation changes in the my prototype. I didn't have enough time to change a top bar, and the reason why it's distinct, different, have a difference between original version and because I combined login button and my games button because they can't exist at the same time. If you log in it, you will see my games, but if you are not logging in, you won't see the my games button is useless for you. So I place it login button to the bottom bar to make it more closer to human fingers and make it like a call to action button. Make it important on the page. And because of that, I had to make a fast redesign of the header of the top bars. I don't think it's perfect, and I just found a solution to make it in one line. And another thing that I wish to point your attention is the logotype of the website of the LeoVegas. For now, it's located in the middle, but in my version, it's located from the left side, and you will see how it's saved through all the user flow. I make it especially for to show that a player located in one platform inside one LeoVegas website. And another thing that I changed, it's quick launch games at the bottom bar. As I said, it's not clear what this button do, and you need to try it first, but usually people don't see things that they doesn't expect, and um, doesn't know how to interact with. They just ignore it. So first of all, I rename it to rename it this button to popular game and show the icon of exact game that will be launched. So for now, this button is promote the game, and when you will launch some game, it will be renamed to last game and show the button of last game. So it's look like a, your favorite game will be sticked to the left bottom bar. I'm not willing to discuss about is it a good idea or not. I mean, in this video, I have no intention to discuss about it. It's just improvement of your current functions. And the one more thing that I changed on the main screen, it's a collection of games. As I said before, original version contains poor categorized games, and I tried to collect them. And more important, I try to attract players' attention to this game. I try to sell this game to a player. When you have thousands of games, you have to sell it. It's not enough to just list all these icons to a player. You need to grab players' attention and describe why this game can be important. Try to find a channel how to describe these games and to find a way to interest uh, player for these games. So it's just a couple of examples how you can combine these games. And I'm not talking about design and beauty things about this video. So these cards are very far from perfect, and sizes and layout can be changed. But this is just an idea how can you how you can sell these games for a player. By the way, there is 3 rows in my phone, and from right side it's 4 rows. Just a little difference. All right, and when you open the game, it shows you a huge, interesting picture of this game. It will be great if it will be background video, or it will be slideshow of a real screenshot of a game that, of course, have to sell this game to a player and describe it more uh, to make a player interested in this game, not just briefly description of uh, some technical data of this game, but also uh, other things like graphics, like global entire feeling from this game, look and feel. This screen doesn't contain 3 buttons of logging in or not. This contains 1 button to play and 1 button to navigate back. If you don't like this game, for example, you can back and choose another one. But as you can see, the game tries to sell and uh, tries to show a player help to a player understand will this game will be liked by him or not. And one more thing, it is, as you can see at the left top corner, it is a logotype of your brand. to show that the player still located in the one platform, the player still located in LeoVegas website and not somewhere else. I have problem with right screen. It's interact poorly. The additional information hovered right on the video. It's can be another place. It can be tinted from the video to don't mess it everything to one. When I press play, I still have and see loading. I still have a back button that turn me back to the home screen, and as I said, it still shows that I am located on the LeoVegas website. So a player doesn't lose control when something goes wrong, and we shows the progress and we show how where the player is located. I tried to save navigation solid. I tried to make navigation solid and locate all navigation buttons in one place. For example, back button is located at the bottom in all the screens. And this can be good idea for make main navigation at the bottom and additional one at the top. For example, in your original website, the let me back. The top bar with the casino and real casino, live casino buttons can be moved to the bottom because important navigation should be at the bottom to access it easily with on the large smartphones. And enter button can be located at the bottom too. And for example, your last game can be moved to the top. So we can switch it, change its location to vice versa. And it will help us to make a solid navigation, like all the important navigation between screens will be at the bottom. Here we see our company's logotype on the top, and in this case I explain I will talk about some fictional game that follows the next rules. First of all, you will see your balance of the game. It's clearly shows to you, and when you spin the button, you have a chance to have some win from this game. Your balance was spent for some sum, and you win some sum. For example, for now it's $21. When you spin it again, you can raise it, or accidentally it can be decreased, because in this fictional game you're not collecting, but depends on the game interaction. So it's not only rise; it can be decreased. And here, when you have some win sum, I suggest you to save this sum to your deposit, and this sum will be available to you when you will play for real money. So you won $47, and you can save this sum to your deposit to play to use this sum next time to win real money. And when it become when games start to when game has such rules, a player understands that every time he spins the rolls, he lose some. He can lose $47. For example, now it's only 3, but before he has 47, and he understand importance of his actions. And there is not infinity. There is no infinity uh, tries to spin the rolls. So he has just limited amount of tries, and he will need to stop some. As he need to stop and save his money to deposit. I believe it motivates. It can sparkle motivation and probably fear of lose for a player, that he player understands that he can lose money uh, every time player have a choice: lose the money and spin, try his luck one more time, or save this money to deposit and uh, continue play for real money. That's how the virtual currency become important for a player. When player decided to save the current win to deposit, he press uh, the button save to deposit. As you can see, I don't break the experience of the player. I try to make it one floor and try to make player motivated, not breaking him, but motivate him to register. Player presses this button and see form that describes why we require some information from the player. For example, when I ask a player to enter email, I didn't just ask him to enter email. I say that I wish to save your money to this email, and this create a motivation and one flawless story for a player. So it's not just breaking, not another case. It's one single story of a player that has some win and tried to save this win. If I'll enter existed account, if I'll enter mail that already exists, I missed with the mail. All right, let's imagine that the current email doesn't exist. I continue, and as you can see, the form asks me to fill one field per time per screen. So there is not a lot of fields on the screen. There is just 2 that I can easily focus and continue the next step. It will be nice if when I press spacebar, the form can focus will be moved to another field, like last name. Here I ask a player to enter his birthday in 3-digit way, not picking a calendar, not using a calendar or 3 spins, because for mobile devices it will be easy to just enter it in one field. Also, as you can see, for now it's a full keyboard, but technically we can show only digit keyboard, and player doesn't have to switch between keyboards. Also, before, when I entered, pressed the continue button on the previous screen, the keyboard was removed, it's gone, but it should change the focus and automatically focus another field, so player even doesn't have to tap this birthday field. And that's it. We saved player balance, saved his balance to our website, because it's all about virtual money. It's not real. We mm, we haven't asked him a passport number, and even we haven't to ask his age probably. That's just an example. We saved his money, and now a player understands that he have account, he have some balance on our website, he has more chances to return to our website. And we successfully registered it. For my example, that's it. That's the end of the sign up flow. And in your case, you also asked a player to validate him through mobile number. I believe if it's not required, because you have a player have a card, bank card, and before he enters this card, there is no reason to validate him, because we're still talking about virtual money. But when he enters a card number and fulfill his balance, he validate himself through the card. So when player pays, it's validation. Before, there is no reason to validate the player. And other fields, such as street address and home, can be filled after a player charge money. I understand that you have to ask this information by law, such as full name and full address, and probably you have to ask it before before charging the money. That's okay, but I don't think it's required on the first steps when a player just creates account in your system, because there is no interaction with real money. All right, and what about for now? A player has balance at 33, $34, and the player can win some real money. We promised that it is real money, and player can win real money in your game. But you can design your system in the way when a player just can't withdraw his win because it's too small. For example, maximum I can win in this virtual game $40. And when I use this money again, this time as real money, the maximum win that I can have will be, for example, $30, not 40, but 30. And to withdraw this money, you required a person to have $50 on his balance. In this way, a person will be motivated to enter his card and win more money to make a balance more than 50 or equal to 50. This is the story that I suppose you to design, that I suppose you to create. If a player is logging it, is created his account already, we can still use one form field. There is no necessary to show a player two fields, login and register, and ask a player to choose one of them. We can do it instead of a player. So if a player is already exist and he can enter his data to this field, we just greetings him and ask to register, or sorry, ask to enter his password and so on. And to be able to do that, we have to rename login button to something neutral like enter that will promise registering and logging at the same time. I believe that's all about the presentation, and there was some questions. How did you approach this task? I showed you all the case. I analyzed the website. I completed in 2 days. First part of the first day, I just interacted with it and write out some notes for myself, some theory, how to say it, assumptions, and then I checked these assumptions with a single person who I be able to find for in so short time for user test. It was my wifey, and I checked this assumption and tried to improve them, and the job was done for about first half of a day, and the other time I just built a prototype and recorded video, making motion tracking to stabilize the video from my phone to decrease shaking. That's it. I built the prototype in Axure. What information would you require to perform the task in a better way? More user tests, more information from your side. Even I had a bad experience to asking such question on a test task. Usually companies say that all the required data is up to you, so you can choose anything as you like. Imagine result. Imagine our answer, and in this case is the same. I didn't ask you to additional information about your industry, because it will take a lot of time to dialogue, to questions and answers. But in fact, if I will get such a job, I had to talk a lot with the lawyers, with the stakeholders, to understand business requirements, understand how players, who players are, how they interact, to see a real gambling players, what that they're looking for, something like that. What problems and opportunities have you identified? I believe I described everything quite well, and the main problem that I said was no motivation for a player to sign up. No reason for that, and even when you try to create the season, you interrupt the player instead of flow, instead of make him or her flow to registration form. I created a motivation and reasons for a player to register on the website. That's the main things that I improved. And also I tried to I told before about the funnel. So the more players goes to the end of our funnel, the better. Uh, we can create different goals and different benchmarks. My benchmark, I believe, my goal was to register a player and probably make a first charge, but I didn't show you this case. So I tried to register as much players as is possible, to lose as less players as possible. That's how to correct to say. And that was the goal of my improvements of my design process. And I reduced the amount of form fields just uh, especially to register more players and made this form easier for a player. As I said, one of the tasks was to improve validation of a player. As I said, it's not required. I believe it's not required. It can be required. I don't know. Maybe you have to do it by law, or you have some reasons that I don't know about. But as I see, when we talk about virtual money, we say players that it's real, but in fact it's virtual. In this case, no reasons to validate a person using phone. And even if you ask him to do so, bad guy can always find online phones and receive SMS online. Also, I was able to use the same phone for multiple accounts. So I don't understand what is it validate in this case. This is the um, actual um, program, actual mockup that I did for your, especially for your test task. What research activities would you like to do and why? As I said, more research more real gambling players, and understand their motivations and expectations. Uh, Understand their emotions. What do they care? For example, do they care about graphics or not? Should we promote a game? Should we make a game card to promote game graphic or not? Or it's nobody cares about that? Do they really need this thousand of games on your website? Or it can be replaced with just one block of where is it? One block of best jackpot games, and that's it. That will be enough for them. So why do you make a market of thousands of games? Why do you suggest the players myriad of games? Or maybe there is some reason for that. I don't know. That's it. Thank you for your attention. Thanks uh, for giving me an opportunity to work with gambling and with sign-up flow. I enjoyed this process and hope you found something interesting for you. And remember that this is not this prototype not the best as it can be. I'm willing to start the dialogue from this prototype. Maybe something will be interesting for you, and I wish to uh, discuss about it as well as about weak places, because I need to understand why you don't didn't you like this part, and I'm willing to hear feedback from you about that. Even the short description, like 1/10, that I don't understand it or I understand it correctly, will be great for me, and I'll really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.